Today I wanted to give everybody, let's say, my top 3 favorite exercises for mountain bike. This is considering there was no limitations to equipment or facilities. Just what would be my top 3 if you could take those top 3 and use them as the only 3 if you were on a desert island, or there were your only 3 choices in your timeline to help produce the best on-bike performance. As well, this would also be considering that you would still be doing your on-bike training, let's say, so riding and getting your on-bike fitness from that, because obviously you're still working on cardiovascular fitness being on bike, as well as your leg strength, you could say. These would be the supplemental exercises to your on-bike fitness development as well. I think these supplementary exercises are great because it rounds out your program and your fitness, because if you're just going in one direction with your exercise, meaning just riding your bike, you're in a certain position and you're developing yourself in, I call it, a one-dimensional or linear way. I always think of these 3 exercises as those that would also make you a better, well-rounded overall athlete and person away from the bike to maintain a better wellness as well. You're going to hear me often say it's not just fitness, it's wellness. And best yet, I often say you can't build fitness on an unwell body. I always start with wellness as being the first prescription, and then build your fitness on that wellness. So that first exercise would be something called the deadlift, which many of you see. It's an Instagram favorite these days. And why I would pick the, let's say, barbell or dumbbell deadlift would be that first there's a need for hip hinging development, so posterior muscles of the body, as well as developing alignment and posture to the body, secondary grip strength. I won't get into the science of it, but there is, if you do some research, you can look it up, you can Google search it, the science of gravity sport. You'll see a big research that was done. We can always maybe put the link for you guys to that research and read through. It's pretty big, but it explains that in their research that grip strength was one of the most important components. So from the deadlift, you will develop that. You'll develop better usage of your shoulders, alignment, and again, the posterior muscles of your body. So when I think of a deadlift and I see often people doing it, maybe there's a little less communication or a little less instruction when it comes to making sure the movement is done with real high quality kinetics or movement, which is the most important element of this. Not how much weight you lift, and that would be just shoulders down and back, your neck in alignment. So I always often tell people, imagine you're holding like a grapefruit underneath your chin the whole time, and that grapefruit wouldn't drop off. And that you're properly flexing through the hip and the knee at a 2-to-1 ratio. So your hip will bend at twice the rate of your knee. You're doing a partial squat while you're doing a full hip hinge. So exercise number 2 would be often what people might see on my Instagram, the use of a thing called a Performex clean press. Now, those of you who are Olympic lifting or powerlifting or CrossFit, this is not a traditional clean press, so please don't come on here and critique our version. This is a modified version that's for, I would like to say, handlebar sports, so from motocross, mountain bike athletes, which challenges the way you're using your shoulder and your upper body in arrangement with your hip hinging. Yes, there is a deadlift component to this, but I think it's like the layering. If you get the deadlift, this makes the clean press fundamentally more structured and proper, but you add this upper body component to it, and you're learning to use your shoulder, your neck alignment, and a lot of exterior, posterior muscles, again, of the body. Again, I would really advise that you're, first of all, strong in that deadlift movement first, and then you're adding that clean and press component, which is to really bring the elbows up, roll through the shoulders, and pressing above your head. But not only that, but you're timing that with your legs. Without one-on-one instruction, I think the video, you have to really watch it closely and see if you can get the timing of this correctly. Now, exercise number 3, I would choose the rowing machine. And the reason I would choose the rowing machine is that fundamentally, you're going to hear it again, it's posterior muscles. And when you think of the on-bike training you're doing, we're really, in a sense, in my words, or in my opinion, underdeveloping that. So we're really starting to hip hinge again. We're doing repetitions at a lighter load versus the deadlift and clean and press. So we're maybe working on what people would like to consider endurance as well as cardiovascular output, but we're still using grip strength. We're still thinking about alignment of our body and mobility. And we are adding an element that will really, in my mind, complement the lower body work that we're doing on bike, specifically cardiovascular wise. And to me, we're considering the wellness part again as being the fundamentals to your fitness. With the rowing, I think you can mix it up between some distance work. I'll challenge my athletes often to whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 distances, or you can do some interval work, which most people understand is, high and low intensity mixed together. Now you're seeing it popular as HIIT training, high intensity interval training, because the science behind that is proven to be, the workouts can be short yet very rewarding as far as results. So you could kind of mix it up between those things, but don't let your ego get in the way. If you're, the worse you are at it, the more uncomfortable you feel with it, the more you need it. That just proves that it's something out of your, you're out of your element, and you're going to benefit the most from it. So just mix it up. And as far as technique goes, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there you can watch on proper rowing technique. I like to break the rules a little bit and get the elbows up, and maybe it's not the most efficient way, but we're not training to become better rowers. We're training to, I always remind the athletes, we're training to become better mountain bike athletes. I appreciate everybody watching this video, and if there's any more information you're looking for, check us out at performxtraining.com or at our Instagram at performxtraining, and we'll see if we can help you out from there.